into appreciating the extra screen real estate. Any form of media such as games, videos, or pictures are better off on a larger smartphone display, and the 4-inch on the 5S, in my opinion, simply wasn't big enough. So the 4.7-inch is a definitive step in the right direction. So let's take a look at the numbers. So the iPhone 6 comes with a 4.7-inch display with 1334 by 750 in resolution, and the pixels per inches calculate out to be 326 ppi, just like the iPhone 5S. But the iPhone 5S has a 4-inch display with 1136 by 640 in resolution. Now, because both of these phones come with the same screen PPI of 326, they are going to be quite sharp. However, the iPhone 6 does come with some improved screen technology, which will translate to better white balance, higher contrast, deeper blacks, sharper text, and extremely wide viewing angles. Alright, so let's move on to dimensions and weight. So the iPhone 6 is 138.1 millimeters high, 67 millimeters wide, only 6.9 millimeters thick, and weighs 129 grams, whereas the iPhone 5S is 123.8 millimeters high, 58.6 millimeters wide, 7.6 millimeters thick, and weighs 112 grams. I wish I could tell you that the engineers at Apple were magically able to deliver an iPhone 6 with a larger screen but a smaller form factor than the iPhone 5S, but not even Apple can achieve such a feat. So yeah, the iPhone 6 with its bigger screen is obviously taller and wider and heavier, but they did manage to make it thinner. Being thinner and having the rounded edges, it is a little more slippery, so be careful not to drop it. Alright, so let's move on to the processor and the memory. Under the hood, the iPhone 6 has a 1.4 GHz dual-core A8 processor with 64-bit architecture and 1 GB of RAM. Now that sounds horribly similar to the iPhone 5S, which is clocked at 1.3 GHz dual-core A7 processor with 64-bit architecture and 1 GB of RAM. But don't be fooled by these numbers. With the A8 chip, you do get 25% faster processor performance and 50% faster graphics performance, while drawing only 50% of the power compared to its predecessor, the A7. Now at the end of this video, I will run some benchmarks to compare the processor, memory, and graphics performance, and we will see how the numbers stack up against each other. For now, let's move on to the battery life. Both phones